Welcome to the Do Whatever It Takes podcast. Conversations that help athletes maximize their potential on and off the field. From coaches, trainers, former teammates, athletic influencers, and business owners, we'll discuss their journey. I am your host, Savon Huggins. Let's do it.
Before we get started, we would like to thank our sponsor, Cruise Control Music, the ultimate sonic branding experience. Cruise Control Music creates custom authentic sounds and music to showcase your brand identity and is a direct reflection of your vision, goals, and values. If you're looking to start or level up on your podcast experience, log on to cruisecontrolmusic.com. On another episode of Do Whatever It Takes podcast, we had the fortunate opportunity to do the pregame speech for Phill North-South All-Star Football Classic. And for those who don't know what the North-South All-Star Football game is, it's the top players in the state of New Jersey from the north and the south part of, South Jersey, and they combine two all-star teams and they go at it. And we were asked to speak to the team in pregame meal for about 25 minutes prior to them getting ready for the game that afternoon. And the message, was for them to understand, to utilize their platform, but understand that it goes just beyond playing. That these relationships that you build while you're playing are going to help propel you for the next phase of your life. And we wanted it to be educational, but still inspiring and still motivational. But we also wanted to really share knowledge with these student athletes about what it takes and what to expect when you get to college. But more importantly, how do you navigate through college, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, because there are going to be obstacles and there are going to be ups, there's going to be downs. But the more you're prepared for the things that are going to come to you, the better, well-equipped you'll be able to play, and you'll be able to, not think as much. You'll go out there and have fun. So take a listen. It was really inspiring to be in the presence of all these high school coaches and decorated high school coaches in the state of New Jersey that won, tons of championships, that are on this committee and, sat here and were able to listen to us speak about doing whatever it takes and how that can propel you in your college career. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This is a phenomenal experience for you high school athletes to be able to play in an all-star game. Not too many people get a fortunate opportunity to do this. So make sure you guys capitalize on this and maximize this opportunity for the people who are in this room. Just a little bit about me. Again, I'm from New Jersey. Grew up in Jackson, New Jersey. 2008, I decided to take the leap of faith to go to St. Peter's Prep in Jersey City. Played in Jersey City, was a high school All-American, had over 50, 60-plus scholarships. But more importantly, I was in the National Honor Society. I did the things not only on the football field, but in the classroom, outside of being a Gatorade player in the year and all that good stuff. After that, I decided to stay home, play at Rutgers University. Played there from 2011 to 2014. I graduated early with an economics degree and had the fortunate opportunity to, go to my next year and my last year at University of Northern Iowa, and got a degree in sports psychology for my master's. And right after that, I decided to coach high school football because I wanted to give back, and my purpose, I truly believe wholeheartedly, is to impact others through my platform. So I was coaching at Somerville High School for the last 3 years, and I'm back at my alma mater at St. Peter's Prep in Jersey City. Just a little bit about my background. And through that, I developed a brand called Do Whatever It Takes. And Do Whatever It Takes is essentially, if your purpose is bigger than you and you remain persistent and consistent, you will be successful. And that not only goes on the football field, off the field, in your relationships and in life. And today I want to talk to each and every one of you gentlemen about relationships, because relationships is what got me here today. First and foremost, there's coaches in this room that actually coached me when I was you guys' age. There's coaches that coached against me and that coached with me, still in this room to this day, right? So we go talk about relationships, right? There's people in this room that I've had relationships over 10 years, and I probably would have never thought about that, but the way I treated people have given me avenues and opportunity to be able to still keep in touch with these people today.
So these young men and women that you guys experience and encounter with right now, make sure that you guys maximize those opportunities and building those relationships now, because you will need them one day. Trust and believe that. The fortunate thing about me when I went to college, and I stress this to each and every individual athlete, is to just do not be an athlete, fellas. I can't stress enough to you that, listen, not everybody in here is not going to make it to the NFL. I just got news for you. I'm just going to be honest with you. I had all the accolades, and I got an opportunity to play a little bit, but at the end of the day, I was never defined by my athleticism. I was defined by my mind, not my feet. And I want each and every one of you athletes to understand that it's bigger than football. The relationships are going to succeed and help you in your life, but you have to make sure you use your platform of playing football to do that, because you have one, right? Don't just be in the dorms, just playing video games. Don't just be a football player, sit in the back of the class, right, with your sweatshirt on, with your football stuff on. No, be a student athlete. Don't be an athlete student, right? There was a reason why I graduated college in 3.5 years. That took a 5-year plan for me to do, because I wasn't a typical football player. I used my resources and my platform to help others, and that gave me an avenue to be able to graduate early. And I would not be sitting here today right now, with 2 degrees, all my stuff paid for, if I just was defined by me playing football. I can't stress to you enough, that's exactly what do whatever it takes means, right? Doing the little things right, building relationships, making sure you treat the people around you, because you never know who's watching. I will say that again. You never know who is watching. I see some guys out here, they left and they ended up going back to the dorms, right? So they're missing out on valuable information right now. They're missing out on valuable information right now, but you guys have the opportunity and the edge mentally ahead of them. Because guess what? Football will end one day. It's going to end. It's going to be over. Some might be in 3 years, some might be in 4 years, some might be in 10 years, but it's going to end. But if you think that you're invincible, or if you think that, I'm just going to play football, I got news for you. When you go to college, everybody is good. Everybody, guess what, played in an all-star game from their own specific town or city. I played an all-star game. This guy played an all-star game. You're going to go to your school, and your coach might ask you to change your position. Well, what type of character do you have to be able to be a team player and not feel entitled enough to be able to do what's best for the team? Because that actually might give you an opportunity to play at the next level. But again, it goes back to, doing something that's bigger than you. If you're doing this for money, if you're doing this just to play college ball, you ain't going to last long. Because there's going to be days like this, case in point, when I was training the kids at prep this morning, when I was running them, you ain't going to want to do it on Monday morning. You're not going to want to do it on Tuesday. You're not going to want to do it on Wednesday, but you're going to play on Saturday, right? And you get about 11, 12 of those games. But more importantly, 365 days, if you got 11 games, 365, that's what? 11 days out of the year you have. Outside of that, you have the other days to make sure that you're preparing for those 11 games. And if you aren't capitalizing on things in the practice, in the classroom, shame on you. All the guys that I've experienced and I've been with, including myself, after I graduated, I had a time trying to figure out what the next phase of my life was. And the reason some people get it, some people don't, is because they just focus on football, focus on their sport. And at that point in time, when they recognize that it's over, now what do you have to show for it? And that's when the academics come. That's when the relationships come. That's how you treat that coach, how you treat that academic advisor, how you treat the lunch person, how you treat the people, your teachers, your professors, is what's going to set you apart from the next, where you give yourself an avenue, an opportunity to be able to reach out to those extensions of people. I can talk to all my college professors at Rutgers, University of Northern Iowa, St. Peter's, Somerville, so on and so forth, because I made sure every single person I encountered that I have a relationship with. I just wasn't a football player. I didn't go to class with just the Rutgers football on my sweatshirt. I wasn't like a normal student, so you respected me in a different way. I sat in the first 3 rows. I can't stress to you enough, young men, about sitting in the first 3 rows in the classroom. Sit in the first 3 rows in the classroom. You get a different type of respect. Make sure you develop a relationship with your professors, right? Don't just go to the professor at the end of the semester and ask, can I bump up? No, it doesn't work that way, because in life it doesn't work that way. But again, those core values that you learn in high school,
you learn from when you're a kid, you learn in college, are going to separate you from how you are in your life, right? And you can all play the blame game, but at the end of the day, only person you got to answer to is the person in the mirror. And the only way you do that is by building those relationships with the people while you're in school, while you're playing your sport, while you're, on campus, right? Making sure you develop relationships with the people outside of just playing your sport. And again, as a whole, that's what doing whatever it takes means, is going above and beyond, right? Not being defined by athleticism and impacting the youth. That's why I'm here today. That's why I developed and built the brand to help you young men and women to understand that it's just bigger than your sport. Because it really is. And guess what? I understand it's been a long day, right? You're tired, you're eating, you kind of don't want to hear it. But guess what? I got news for you. What do you think you do in college? You're going to eat. They're going to have a speaker come and talk to you. The head coach is going to sit in the back of the room. He's going to evaluate each and every one of your body language. I can speak firsthand because I was with the Miami Dolphins for an internship. Again, going back to relationships, 3 weeks ago. Internship with the Miami Dolphins and Coach Brian Flores. And we had a team meeting, and all the staff is sitting there talking about the different players. First round draft picks about body language. First round draft picks, people that you guys see on TV making millions of dollars talking about body language and the little details, right? And we think we got it figured out. So it's important that when somebody is coming to talk to you guys, impact you, take something from it, because you never know. You never know. Again, about relationship. There was a coach that I met 2 years ago that gave me an avenue for the Miami Dolphins internship. And I don't mean to boast or brag, but there were 10,000 applicants. Why is a high school coach getting an opportunity to coach for the Miami Dolphins? Relationships. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's important to build those relationships using your football platform. That helps you and supersedes you above the rest, because guess what? You have an advantage playing a sport, but that's not an advantage if you don't capitalize and maximize that while you're playing. Everybody's watching you, coming to the games. Make sure you capitalize those things while you're playing, because that is the difference. Not the wins and losses, because I never won a high school championship, and I didn't have the success I wanted at Rutgers, but I'm more known for what I do off the field than what I did on the field to this day. I went to another school after I graduated Rutgers, and I'm still welcomed at home. Relationships. Relationships, relationships, relationships. And that goes back to doing whatever it takes, not just on the field, but off the field. That's the difference between winning and losing, literally. That right there, that's the key. And that's what's going to separate each and every one of the individuals from being successful, not only in your sport, but in your life. Because guess what? Football is going to end one day. Some quicker than others. It's going to end. But the people who understand that I'm not going to just be a football player are the people that's going to be successful a lot faster unless you make it to the NFL. And guess what? Even for them, it still ends one day. It ends. But again, that's what that's what we talk about, about building relationships. So, if that's the one thing I can harp on about, my experiences at every single level, is building relationships. Because coaches out here watching you. And do not think for a second that some coach is not asking about you on behalf of you from a different coach, because it happens like that. Because I got news for you. In the college world, there's no such thing as a resume. It's about who knows who. There's no such thing as I'm going to build up my resume to get. No, it's who knows who. And if you don't treat the people that you encounter around with, if there's another avenue for you that you're trying to go to, you might hurt yourself. Or you might be behind the 8 ball because you didn't build those relationships, or you treated this particular coach or this person or this academic advisor. Because again, there's eyes on you everywhere. No matter if it's Division I, Division I AA, Division II, or Division III. Football is football. Last time I checked, there's 100 yards and it's 55 yards from sideline to sideline, or 53. It doesn't matter. But it's about building those relationships. And those relationships will help you in your life. Those relationships will help you in the classroom, right? I learned a lot about stuff because econ was a very difficult major for me when I was in college. But guess what? My friends weren't just my football players. They were the people in my class. So it forces me to step outside of my comfort zone to learn from other people outside of what I see on a daily basis that allowed me to be able to build relationships outside of football. So those tools right there about building relationships is what separates winning and losing. Because there's people who win a lot of championships that are lost right now. I'm going to say that again. There's people with a lot of championships that you guys probably get played with or that have been through these doors that are lost right now. But those relationships are what's going to separate you in life after football, in life during football. And again, I'm here as an avenue and a vessel to help each and every one of you individuals to reach your maximum potential, not only on the field, but more importantly, off the field. So when somebody's up here, make sure you guys always take something from it. That was one thing I always learned to do, is no matter whether the speaker was great, bad, or indifferent, I always learned to try to take something from it, because that little nugget right there may be the difference for me. And that's what leadership's about. Integrity, respect, work ethic, all those things coincide with the next. They all coincide. But it all goes back to those building those relationships and how you treat people on a daily basis and how you respond, lastly, to adversity. The last thing I'm going to share with you guys about, for all you college kids, is how to push through adversity. You are going to fall behind a depth chart. You might get hurt. They might change your position. There may be a coaching change. But at the end of the day, how you respond is what really defines who you are. Now, you might have a great college career, but at some point in your 4 or 5 year career, you will face adversity. There will be things that you will not like. But how you define by that is how you push through that. And you navigate through that. And you navigate through that by keeping good people around you. That is the last piece of information I can share with you about being a college athlete, that, if I knew what I knew now, that I can share with you guys, is prepare for what you can't see. And that's by doing the right thing on a daily basis. So when the opportunity hits you, or when there's a 2-minute drill, you prepare for 2 minutes before 2 minutes comes up, if that makes sense. You didn't just prepare for 2 minutes at the end of practice. You train like it was 2 minutes all the time. If you train like it's 2 minutes all the time, when 2 minutes comes, it's going to be easy. If you don't train like it's 2 minutes all the time, when it hits the fan, you ain't going to be prepared for it. I got news for you. So make sure that you guys are, again, doing the little things right, off the field, on the field, and every different avenue, because you are going to face adversity in college at some point. I'm sure every single one of these coaches over here can attest to that, and some of the players that they coached, including myself, and the adversities I faced. But I was able to navigate through that because my purpose was bigger than me. Thank you for having me today. Do whatever it takes.
Thank you for listening to the Do Whatever It Takes podcast. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Team Do It, and log on to teamdowit.com to book your next training session or speaking engagement. Always remember to live in your purpose